What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Panthers Nation Network. Bit of a different group around me. Shantice JB not able to join us. I've got Ian Walters here, the creator of the Panthers Nation page since 2015. He's been behind the camera, behind the scenes. We're bringing him out to talk because we have a very special guest, Panthers legend, Gamecock legend, and current head coach of Julius L. Chambers High School football, Captain Munnerlyn. Cap, thanks for coming and talking to us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this episode. A little different episode. I like stuff like that.
I was going to say, you don't have to worry about you running the ship. We can ask you the questions
this
time.
I can sit back and just relax now. So, yeah, I'm excited about it.
I was going to say, also, a podcast host himself. Plug your page as well.
Oh, yeah, man. No Capping with Cap. It's a podcast that I started like a year and a half ago now. I always wanted to do a podcast, just to let the people intel or like how it is being an NFL football player and like the stuff we go through day to day. And just to give the people, some intel on it, some insight on it. So me doing it, I was like, man, I really like this.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started falling in love with it. And I'm doing it every week now.
How thankful are you to your grandma for giving you such a brandable name, right?
I know, man. I know. Growing up at first, I used to get teased, the Captain Crunches, Captain D's, and stuff like that. So I didn't get it. I was like, well, I can't have normal names like other kids.
Yeah, right.
But it's a name that fit my personality. It definitely fit my personality. I feel like I always been a leader. I always had eyes on me since I was small. So I like it. I like it now. I growed into it, and I named my son that. So he stuck with it too.
So just talk a little bit about what Charlotte means to you, just to start off. Coming back here as a high school coach, you've come 2 different stints with the Panthers, and just how much the city and the team has meant to you.
It means a lot. This was the team that drafted me, so that was a special place in my heart from day one. I remember getting that call on draft day when it was a 704 number. I told my parents, and I told my mom, and my whole family. I said, I'm about to be a Carolina Panthers. They didn't even know how I knew that. Yeah. But I just knew about being, in the Carolinas, being the area code, and being down at the University of South Carolina, I knew the area codes and stuff like that. And when I got that 704 number, I was like, yo, it's go time. And I knew coming to the Carolina Panthers, kind of like a brand new organization who was around since like 95, I wanted to do something special. I'm a guy who always been like just wanted to do something special, do something different that nobody had done before. And when I got that draft call, man, it was like, man, a lot of stuff that was lifted off of me. Like, man, I got my name called. That's what I wanted. Right. Now it was my time to go out there and to produce. And going to Spartanburg where training camp at, and hot. When I say hot, hot.
Different heat.
That'll get you right.
Yes, it definitely get you right. But just having the support of all the Gamecocks fans. I was a household name when I first got into it. So I'm walking out the practice, Captain. I'm sitting there like,
homer already.
Yes, and everybody like, yo, bro, they know you already. Some of the rookie guys like, they know you already. I'm like,
you famous.
Yes, and it's like, man, I went to school only an hour away from Charlotte, so it was like, I loved it, to have that opportunity even to do that, and just the organization as a whole, man. When I first got drafted here, it was just, it was a work organization. These guys, they didn't believe in if we got a guy in the first round or the 7th round, or he can be a free agent guy. If the guy can play, he can play. Yeah. You look at guys like Jake DeLong, a guy who's undrafted, got the opportunity in Carolina and took off with it. Then I look at guys like myself. A 7th-round draft pick was the last pick in his draft class. We even drafted a corner before me, but I ended up starting that year over him. Sherrod Martin.
Sherrod Martin. I forget. So, because what was the cornerback room when you were coming in there in the defensive back group? Because it was the end of the cardiac cat era.
Yep.
That was kind of shipping out.
Yep.
But it hadn't started quite yet. The prime Panthers era.
Yeah. It had Chris Gamble.
Yep.
Richard Marshall. Chris Harris, who actually coached now with the Jets.
Yeah.
You had guys like Nate Sally, Quintil. Dante Wesley.
Wesley.
That's a name right there.
CJ, what's CJ last name? He was a corner too. He was a big long corner from he went to I want to say TCU or something like that.
Oh gosh. Man.
It was CJ. I know CJ. He's my old teammate. I know all my old teammates.
Yeah.
But CJ, he was another corner, and me coming in the room, me and Sherrod, we was the Young Bucks, and I remember getting out there. I was like, man, I don't care. I'm gonna make this team. Being a 7th-round draft pick, everybody's like, it's hard to make the team as a 7th-round draft pick. So I knew I had to do the extra work. I had to really show those guys I really can play and I belong. And I had Moose and Muhammad come to me, and I was going out there guarding guys like Moose and Steve. I remember my first practice, everybody was scared to go against Steve Smith. I'll never forget. And I'm sitting there like, this is my opportunity to go out here and do what I need to do.
Exactly.
You know, if I can stop this guy, they know I can play on Sundays.
Right.
So I go out there, I made a play on him. I'll never forget. I made the play. He was like, who was that? He looked around. He was like, okay.
What number is that?
Yeah, he's like, good job. He told me good job. I was like, bro, Steve Smith just told me good job.
It's your
No,
days,
I'm a
man.
rookie.
You got a contract extension signed
I'm
already.
like, I'm like, Steve Smith just told me good job. Then the next play, he come up when I guard him. He was at the line talking to himself like, well, he think he can guard me. This and that. I'm sitting there like,
This man.
is he talking to me? You know, so it's like, wow, and I'll never forget that. And I think the next play he caught the pass on me, but he came and talked to me after practice and was like, yo, keep working. He's like, you're going to be pretty good. Then coming from Steve Smith, that happened. Then Musa Muhammad telling me, things like, yo, he called me Hands because at the line of scrimmage, if I get my hands on you, it was over. So Moose always gave me that nickname. He called me Hands. He was like, Hands. If you get your hands on somebody, he was like, keep doing that. And I would never forget, man, playing in the last preseason game, my rookie year, I didn't play. And I was scared. And I was sitting out telling Moose. Moose.
Rightfully so.
Yes, I'm thinking like they're going to try to practice squad me or they're going to cut me. I'm like, why are they not, this is my rookie year.
Yeah.
I'm a 7th-round draft pick. I see guys like, all my teammates like Sherrod Martin playing, who was a 2nd round, Everett Brown playing, who was a 2nd round, Corey Irvin playing, who was a 2nd round, Mike Goodson playing.
Goodson.
And those guys were 2nd round picks. I mean, 3rd, 4th, 5th round. You know, I'm the last pick in the draft. And I wasn't playing. So I'm sitting there scared. I remember having a conversation with Moose. Moose come to me on the sideline. You know, they eating C's, they veterans, they got their hats on.
Yeah.
He looking at me, he was like, what's wrong? I was like, Moose, man, I'm nervous. Like, he was like, oh, man, you fine. You going to make this team. He's like, they just trying to hide you. He's like, they just don't want to show people that you're going to be our starter. I'm sitting there like, huh? I'm like, man, there's no way they going to let me
That's a weird
start.
tactic.
Yeah. I was like, but I want the reps. I want to play. He's like, man, you fine. They just hiding you. I'm sitting there like, all right. And I promise for sure he was 100% right. Come the first game of the year, playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm a starting punt returner, and I was a starting nickel. And I was sitting there like, wow, I couldn't believe it. You know, I couldn't believe how that journey happened to me. And having guys like Moose and Steve really, you know, helped me along how to guard these older guys and things like that. It really helped me. Then having guys in my room like Chris Gamble, you know.
Legend.
Man, legend.
Huge inspiration right there.
And, you know, Richard Marshall, he even showed me the ropes. And, you know, having guys like Dante Wesley tell me, like, listen, like, this is how you make it on special teams. The more you can do.
Exactly.
Guy named Chris Harris back there at safety knew everything.
Yep.
He wasn't fast. He wasn't like the most talented guy. But when I say knew everything about the defense, knew everything about the defense.
An athlete, man.
And that's what helped me, you know, having guys like that around me. And then shout out to Sherrod Martin too. He was a guy who never hated. He was a guy like, man, he taking my job. You know, I'm here for that. He was a guy that never hated, man. I always told me, he called me Lil Scrap. He said, Lil Scrap, go do your thing. He used to always tell me that before every game when he wasn't even playing. Lil Scrap, go do your thing, man. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. And I was sitting there like, man, I had a good group of guys who believed in me, even though I had all the confidence in the world.
Right.
I knew if I got the opportunity, the rest was history.
Yeah, you came in and then you got that validation.
Yes. So I was sitting there, but having guys that validated, like, yo, bro, like, he can really play.
Yeah.
And, you know, guys like Thomas Davis telling me, yo, like, took me under their wings and telling me, like, yo, you can be one of those guys.
Wow.
You know, and when I won a punt return job, I'd never forget playing against Miami, and boom, and I was so excited, and y'all probably gonna look at this clip one day. I was so excited, man, against Miami. I catch a punt return. I take it to the crib. I score. I stepped out of bounds on my own.
Oh, no.
I was so happy. It was my first NFL punt return. I was so happy in the preseason.
Oh, no.
I just ran out of bounds on my own. And I'll never forget the guys, they was clowning me about it. But
At least it was in preseason, not in the regular season, not the game that it mattered.
Man.
Just came back and talked to you.
Yeah, man. I was sitting there like, man, but that's just some of the things that, you know, my career that helped me in my career. Even, you know, started, like I said, I can even go back to college, having guys like Sidney Rice. You know what I'm saying? Guys were scared to go against him. When I challenged them. And that's the story that how I get number one. I can tell the story because it's so much inspiration to other people about this story. You know, people be so scared to go against guys like Sidney Rice, you know, Steve Smith, you know, being a guy like myself. I come into college and the first practice at the University of South Carolina, I was number 30. People don't know that. I wore number 30.
Did you really?
Yes, and I went against Sidney Rice, and he go up for the ball. I take it from him. I picked it off. Coach Spurrier said, "Who was that?"
Yeah,
And they was
same
like,
thing.
Yeah, they was like,
Yeah.
"That's the kid captain."
Yeah.
He's like, "Captain, Sidney, go again." He made us go again. The next play, I break it up. Coach Spurrier said, "Captain, what number you was in high school?"
Yeah.
I said, "Coach, I was number 2." He was like, "Well, number 2 is here retired. Sterling Sharp retired the number." He was like, "Would you like to be number 1?" I'm sitting there like,
I guess.
Yo, I'm looking at the time. Noah Whiteside, who was a senior, had number 1. I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'll take it. He took number 1 from him, gave it to me, and gave him number 10.
That's crazy.
And that's how I became the number 1 at the University of South Carolina, because making plays at practice and going against guys like the top dogs. I want the top dogs. I wasn't going against guys like, oh, that's in my class. No, I'm going to the big fish.
For sure.
And I think that really helped my game.
Absolutely. So talk a little bit about, I mean, being a 7th round pick, having that mentality all of your life, just kind of how much it's a seesaw. You know, you can either crash and burn out getting to the NFL, or you can ride on that momentum. Because even without that validation, I feel like you still would have been headstrong, confident as all get out in yourself, even if the other players hadn't came up to you like that.
To be honest with you, it helps to have your teammates believe in you. And some guys like Steve Smith, them to validate, like, yo, he can play. But I was a guy who had all the confidence in the world already, because it's like I wanted to prove to everybody that I was a guy.
Right.
That it wasn't just a fluke for me starting at the University of South Carolina, playing in the SEC, you know, making all SEC and all that. I went 7th round because maybe the teams didn't like a shorter corner.
Right.
You know, maybe it was some things that didn't go right at pro day or things like that. Not because I couldn't play football.
Right. Right.
You know, so I already knew I had that. And I had a coach even tell me I need to stop going out there and try to prove to people that they was wrong about it.
Yeah.
You know, they was wrong about you. They was wrong. He was like, man, stop doing that. Shout out to Steve Wilkes, because he the one taught me.
Steve Wilkes told you that?
He the one
Wilkes,
told me.
man.
He said, listen,
Don't do that.
stop going out there. He said, stop going out there trying to prove everything
Wow.
to people that they wrong. He said, what about you being right about yourself? And I sat back and thought about that. And I was like, man, you're right. I ain't got time to be trying to prove to y'all every time this, and that. I can't say, hey, man, listen, these are black, and I got to prove it to you. This is why they're black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, he told me, like, stop trying to do that.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Wow. And that helps my game so much, because I used to play so angry.
Right.
And sometimes my anger got me into trouble when flags, because sometimes I'm trying to kill you down the field.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
I wonder who else that sounds like on the Panthers. Undersized and trying to prove himself. I wonder who else that sounds like.
So I always try to do that. But Steve Wilkes came and talked to me when he came from the Chargers.
Yeah.
He came and talked to me. He's like, listen, stop it.
Yeah.
You're right. We know you can play. You're right about yourself. And that calmed my game down a whole lot to get where swag. Let's go. It's just me.
Wow.
I say, talk a little bit about Wilkes as a coordinator and as a position coach.
Absolutely.
By far the best coach I ever had. By far. And I had to rank my coaches before on the podcast. And I was sitting there like, I couldn't, because my high school coach was a guy who really helped me out a lot. Then I had my coach at South Carolina, Coach Cooper, who helped me out a lot. Then I had Coach Rivera. Then I had Steve Wilkes. Then I had Mike Zimmer.
Oh,
you know, even though Mike
Yeah,
Zimmer,
for sure.
Mike Zimmer probably the hardest coach I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I heard.
strictly by the book, hardest coach I ever had in my life. But to get you ready to play a football game, if you listen to him, you're going to be one of those guys.
Right.
You just got to buy in. And that's what happened my first year there. I wasn't trying to buy in. I was like, man, I'm 6 years in, man. Let me go out and make plays. But Steve Wilkes, not like him.
I'm going to be frank with you. You don't got to answer this question, all right? I like what Dave Canales is doing right now. He's on a good track, and I think he's going to have the team where it's supposed to be here in a few years.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think so, too.
Yeah, for sure.
How much, though, did they set themselves back not going and giving Steve Wilkes that job?
A whole lot of money and a whole lot of buyouts with other coaches and a whole lot of stress around here when I winning, because Wilkes was going to bring that culture back. He's a Charlotte guy who know how to win, and he can come right now on this podcast and he'll have us three think I still about to play. Yeah, you guys think like, yo,
I
let's
guess I
go.
can sit up. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
He got that aura by himself. Like we call him Denzel Washington. We mess with him all the time. We call him Denzel because he can, when he turned it on,
Remember the Titans?
yes, and you be sitting there looking at him like,
Strong side.
let's go. Like, coach,
Yeah.
he have you ready to go, man.
Yeah.
And he's just not a worker room. He not to be a leader of men.
And you can tell. You can
He
tell.
definitely not to be the leader of men. And like I said, by far, like my best coach I ever had in my life. Even though we had words before and stuff.
Yeah.
Me and him, we competitive.
Right.
But coaching wise, a human being, man, being a person, showing you can call him off the field when you have problems. Man, like seriously,
And that's
best coach.
that's the best coach right there.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can call them off.
Yeah, I can ask Wilkes
You
anything.
can talk to them. Yeah.
You can ask anything. Even when I was going about to retire and all that, he took me out to eat. You know? He was like, yo, he wasn't even coaching. He took a year off. When Arizona did the deal with him, they screwed up too. And he took a year off, and he came to me. He was like, yo, let's go get something to eat. I'll never forget. We went and just had lunch and just talked about all the good times and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there like, man, this like he's the standard for me as a coach.
You say that's who you would pull from now in your coaching days?
Oh man, I steal all this stuff. I steal all this
All
stuff.
his mannerisms, all of his
Oh
coach
man,
speak.
I steal all this
Wilkes,
stuff.
right.
Like I remember, I can't wait till the season. I'm having them boys ready to run through a wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to take me a Steve Wilkes story
Yeah.
and bring it to Chambers.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's how you learn, man. You got to learn from great guys and great coaches. And he's one of the guys when I say, like for real, like hands down.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like.
Sounds like he just.
And I know a lot of people would say that about him. Like he's just A1 day one.
And you're going to use those stories when you play West Charlotte, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's his old
Yep,
motto.
yeah.
So I already know what time it is.
I mean,
he told me, he called me when I got the job at Chambers. Congratulations, I love you. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm happy for you. I know you're gonna do a great job. So I'm pulling for you only every game you play, but one game I can't.
10 games, not the 11.
Yeah, I said, why not, man? He told me something. Man, you know they got my statue over there. I said, Wilkes, I never seen your statue over there. but nah, man. But yeah, I know, man. But it's like I said, man. This coaching thing is just it's great, man. Like I said, I stay all this stuff.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
So you've been, like I said, around the organization 2 different times. You were there at the end of the Cardiac Cat era,
Yep.
right before they got their primetime Panther era. You're out in 2013. Then you come back in 2017. That's the last time they made the playoffs and the end of the primetime, right? Right? I know it hurt.
That's hard to even say.
Right?
Yeah, we didn't want to
I didn't
say
even
it.
realize
The
that.
last time they made the
That
playoffs.
is crazy.
I know.
And it
I
was-
was on the team.
You were on the team, yeah. It was in 2017, the Saints in New Orleans.
They swept us.
They swept y'all 3 times that season.
3
Yep.
times.
And McCaffrey, the only thing they had, McCaffrey had a 60-yard touchdown run or like a pass.
I can tell. I remember that game because I remember the plays I gave up. I'm big on that.
Yeah. So give me 1 or 2 of them. If you,
So
we know.
the game was kind of was on the line, and Mike Adams actually kind of he bailed me out.
Yeah.
It was 3rd and like 11, no, probably 3rd and 9, and Michael Thomas was in the slot, and they put him against me matchups. So they put him against me. I'm like, oh man, I can guard him, you know, this
Yeah.
and that.
Yeah.
I guard, man, listen, when I say I guard the route like it was nothing, I guard the route, I'm playing them, I look back, Drew Brees threw the ball low and away to the outside. Michael Thomas catch the ball, first down. I'm thinking the game is over. I'll get to the sideline, teammates looking at me, they talking, we talking. Wilkes look at me, he's like, listen.
so he came back to the team at that point.
Wilkes, he was still there, right?
He had left to be the
left?
Arizona head coach. I think he had left before that, right?
No, he still was there. 2017.
Was he still there?
2017.
When did he
still
get the
was there.
Arizona gig? Was that?
He got it after that year.
2018, yeah.
Yes.
Was
He
it
got
after that year? Okay,
Yes.
then my bad.
Yeah, he got it after
We
the year.
lost so many defensive coordinators.
Yeah, but no, he got it
it's
after
all-
that year. That year, I came back my first year in Carolina.
Okay.
We made the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The next year, we didn't make the playoffs.
Nope.
Yep, because we started out good.
Yeah.
But we
That
had
was
it
Tepper's
down.
first year.
Yes.
And Cam blew
So,
his shoulder out.
Yep. So Steelers against the Steelers.
Yep.
Yeah.
T.J. Watt.
Don't
Bruh.
get me-
Every day I wake up.
Yeah, but that year we did. When we made the playoffs, we had Wilkes.
Okay, that was his last
Yeah,
year then.
and I remember him coming to me on the sideline. He was like, yo, that was a great play. He was like, you can't do nothing about it. Don't beat yourself up. He was like, the ball placement was everything. I was like, Coach, I knew it was coming. He was like, well, if you knew it was coming, I'm going to tell you be in a better position. I was like, Coach, I'm telling you I knew it was coming. I sat there. I said a couple of prayers, and they gave us a chance. Mike Adams picked the ball off.
I remember.
Like, they didn't have to do all this
I
crazy
remember.
stuff. All they had to do
Run
was
the
run
clock
the ball.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
And Drew Brees threw it up and gave us a chance. I'm sitting on the sideline like, oh my God, we about to win this game.
Yeah, right.
We about to win the game, and we got back into the game. So I remember that game like it was yesterday because I gave up the play.
It turned out all right. but
What's
yeah, you gave
what's
it
the
up.
worst
Yeah,
play you think you gave up? Do you remember?
I done gave up some plays in my career. I done made a lot too, but I want to say the worst play I probably ever gave up to myself This is when I was with the Vikings.
Okay.
Playing against Seattle.
So it didn't hurt us. That's fine. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing against Seattle, it was probably the coldest game I ever played in. It was negative 25 degrees. That was when we was playing outside at the University of
Yeah,
Minnesota.
that wasn't the
Yes.
playoff game, wasn't
It was playoff
that was the
game. Blair
wide
Walsh.
right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yep, Blair
Yeah.
Walsh. And I didn't blame Blair for missing the field goal, even though it was a chip shot.
Yeah.
We lost 9-10. We would have won the game. We probably would have. We played Arizona, then we probably came here in 2015 to play the Panthers.
Yeah, it would have been that year. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. So that game right there, the ball gets snapped over Russell Wilson's head, and
Yes.
I don't have no excuses. I'm not a guy making an excuse, and I'm going after the ball. They sent me on a blitz. When I say I've never seen a guy baseball slide, and get up and find the open guy, all I had to do was stay outside contain. So, but when the ball went, I know I was an outside contain blitzer, but when the ball went over his head, I lost all my focus on
And you just
being
went-
outside contain
Yeah.
blitzer.
Right.
I just went for him.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't.
I went for the ball.
Yeah, so you're taking everything to the house. That's a house call.
Yeah, I'm not thinking like he's gonna beat me to the
No.
ball. I'm running to the ball, and as I run to the ball, I see him slide.
Reason why he was drafted in the MLB, right?
I see
Yeah,
him
exactly,
slide, get up, and then when I watch the tape, I see all my teammates being inside of me.
Oh,
I was like, if I stay outside, he had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
oh,
He looked downfield, and we left a receiver wide open downfield, even though it wasn't my guy.
Yeah, but still. Yeah.
But still, I felt like if I would have just did my job.
yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, we was winning the game the whole game. They wasn't used to that weather. It was negative 25 degrees.
Not at all.
Not at all.
They take the lead on that play. They go up. They
Was it 9-3?
it was 9-3,
Yeah.
Oh,
and we was winning. They go down and score.
Yeah.
make it 10-9.
10-9.
And then
I'm sitting on the sidelines once again. The football guys always been on my side for some reason. But it's just
You've been doing well so
yes.
far. Yeah.
So
for
it's
sure.
just I'm sitting on the sideline like, man, Coach Zim, he actually going off on the guy for not covering his guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's going off. He's like, cover your guy. We sent a blitz, this and that. And I'm sitting there like, it ain't his fault.
Yeah.
I stay outside,
Yeah.
contain.
Yeah.
I make that play. We not in this position.
Yeah.
We win this game. We go on to the next round. And we get the ball. And Adrian Peterson break one. Kyle Rudolph caught one across the middle and get us down to like the 7-yard line.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, bro, we about to win this game. And we missed the kick. But like I said, I never blame like kickers. I always that's the one I took so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I would have did my job,
Yeah.
they would have never scored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have got that set.
They never would have got
That's
that seven.
rough.
Yeah.
That
So
is so
that's
rough.
how, and I'm so tough on myself, man.
Yeah,
I'm so
absolutely.
tough on me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never blame teammates for losses.
Yeah.
Right.
I blame myself.
Yeah.
What could I did better?
Yeah.
And that's one play I feel like, because then it's crazy thing about it, Gettleman, he brought that play up when I signed my contract back here.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like, so what happened that play?
Wow.
I'm
You're
sitting
like,
there like,
Dang. All right. Yeah.
I'm
He's
coming
like,
back on a
yeah,
veteran contract.
He's like, yo, no, they paid me. They paid me pretty well.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to know what happened that play. And I'm sitting there like, dude, you really gonna bring up all these
I
plays
just
I made
got-
in my career?
Yeah.
You gonna bring up that play? He brought that play up on
That's
me and asked me
crazy.
what happened. I was like, I guess he wanted me to own up to it.
Yeah.
I screwed up. I was outside contained. I should have stayed outside.
Yeah.
He was like, I was just asking.
He knew. He knew that.
Yeah, he just wanted to see what my answer was.
Yeah.
gonna be.
Right.
So then what's your best, you got your, like we said, franchise record still have, you said it, 5 pick sixes.
Yeah.
Yep.
10, it was, what was it, 10 or 9 picks in however many seasons with the Panthers?
How many? I don't know how many I got with the Panthers. I just know total. I probably got, probably 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite play then? At least from
this
this
when I
would be
broke the
Panthers.
record. When
Right.
I broke the record.
Yeah.
When I broke, I picked Geno Smith off for the touchdown record because when they told me I had a chance to do it,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and me being I felt like that might be my last year here.
Yeah.
I didn't never think I would come back.
Yeah.
Right.
So me being that, I'm like, man, this might be my last year here. I'm that close to breaking that record. I was like, I want it. I want it. And that's probably my most memorable moment
Right.
as a Carolina Panther because I wanted that record.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying it like when they asked me about it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
But
you
in the
gotta-
back of my mind,
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, I'm like,
That's
I
mine.
want that.
That's mine. My name was
Like,
on that.
My name's gonna be in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it is gonna be Eric Davis. I think it was Eric Davis or something like that. The corner that had it
Eric
before
Davis. Yeah.
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 He used to be on NFL Network. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It was- he
Absolutely.
did.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be Captain Munnerlyn. That's all I said. I said Eric Davis. It's gonna be Captain Munnerlyn, and I don't think nobody's gonna ever catch me. But I know it's gonna get broken one day. But I was like, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have it for a while.
I'm trying to think of how close Luke Kuechly was. Because he
Uh,
had at least 2 that 2015 season.
The thing is, you know what it was though with Luke, and this is crazy thing. The NFL need to do something about it. Playoff games don't count.
What?
No.
So that Cardinals game he had it, and the Saints game or
wait,
Seahawks game he had it. He had 2 in the
So
playoffs.
those don't count.
They don't
at
count
all?
on your stats.
Really?
Playoff stats do not count on your stats.
I did not know
Are
that.
you
Tackles, interceptions,
For real?
they don't count on your stats.
Wow.
That's crazy. Now I guess, but then they're gonna have it to where I don't know if they're gonna either reset the whole record books with the extra weeks of the season, or they're gonna be a little asterisks because now,
That's fair.
you know, these are new records. You have the most in an 18-week season. You
Yeah,
know, you have
that's
the most
crazy.
in a however many season as
Right.
opposed to a 17.
I think they should do that.
Yeah.
I think they should do that. But it's like when Saquon got close to the record.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But is it the record because
the
he
record.
Yeah.
had that many extra games?
What's the average? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like Eric Dixon and how many games he did in
Yeah.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then if you got to do that, you got to go back with Jim Brown and how many they did in it.
Right?
So you have to
Even OJ,
rewrite
though.
so much.
Even OJ, he had
Yeah,
a fantastic.
that's what I'm saying. You have to
12 games,
rewrite so much. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, do you do that?
Yeah.
That's it's a lot of paperwork that I don't want to have to do. That I don't think they don't want to have to do either.
Yeah,
not at all.
yeah.
So talk a little bit about just your outlook on this now current Panthers, kind of how it relates. You know, like I said, that 11, 12, 13, they were building up,
Yeah, we was
building up,
building. Yep.
down and low, high and up. How much of that do you see in this current regime?
Oh man, I tell you what, I see a lot of similarities because if you look how they finished the season,
Yes.
y'all remember when Rivera took over, we always started like this. Then by the end of the year, we went
November
3-4 in a row.
Rivera.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Cam's record is
Then-
unreal
yes.
in December.
Then all of a sudden, 2012 come around, we did the same exact thing. We're like, oh, here we go again.
Yep.
Then we rip off 3-4 in a row.
Yep.
It's like it gave you hope for the next year.
Right. Right.
Then 2013 came around. We started out 1-3. We was like, oh, here we go again. Then all of a sudden, 7 in a row.
Yep.
7 in a row. Yeah.
Now we win the division.
Yeah.
Not first round bye.
Yeah.
A couple years passed by, 2015, those guys go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I see the same style, you know, because how they finished this year, man, they gave us hope.
Right. Exactly.
You, look, they had the Super Bowl champs on the ropes.
And
Should've won a
the
game.
runner-ups too.
Yeah.
Should have won a game.
Should have won the game.
Then they go down to Atlanta. Atlanta is playing for something.
Yeah.
We're not playing for nothing.
No.
Right.
We playing to go to the house, man. Like about to go home.
Tampa Bay was losing midway through the game.
Yes, they were.
We were playing for something, and we went down there, and Bryce put on a performance without a star running back, without a lot of guys shut down for the season, and we won a game.
Yeah.
That give you confidence going into the next year. Now, what I would like for them to change that we did, don't start slow. But I think with me saying that is they have to do something different.
I
You
agree.
start slow because you don't get guys enough reps in the preseason.
I 1,000% agree with you. Yep.
When I seen Bryce not play that much in the preseason last year, I was sitting there like, what are we doing?
It hurt him. It hurt him tremendously.
But y'all want him to go out there week 1
Yeah.
and put on a hell of a performance.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
How much of the year before, like everyone was saying, oh, Bryce forgot how to play football. He can't play football. He's not going to make it. How much of just the year before getting beaten down week after week affected his play?
Mentally,
Mentally,
it take
yeah.
you, bro.
Yeah.
Mentally, it took him.
Yeah.
Mentally, he was questioning himself. I guarantee he was
Right.
like,
You can see it.
maybe I am too short.
Yeah, you can see it.
Maybe I can't make these
I
throws.
mean, he was jumping. And
Yes,
making
it's like
passes.
maybe like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the best thing we did for him, we set him down.
Yeah.
Set him down when they made up this all this other stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Andy Dalton get in the car wreck and y'all sit him
Yeah,
down
yeah,
and Bryce
right.
starting quarterback.
Yeah.
All this cliche stuff. You know, then I'm sitting there
That's a
since,
different
you know,
show.
since I'm a podcaster now. I'm
You're
sitting
like,
there
you're conspiracy.
all right.
Yeah, we got
All right,
out for
yeah,
that,
whatever.
yeah.
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 I know what y'all trying to pull.
We all
But
know.
I think the best thing was to sit him down, to let him see. Let's see. You need to learn how to play quarterback
From
in
a
the
pro,
NFL.
from a pro,
From a pro. You know,
Yeah.
even though Andy is not what he used to be, but he's still a pro.
Still a
He's
winner.
hell of a
Yeah.
backup.
Hell yeah.
So to see that, I think Bryce learned. He's like, oh yeah, I got to get it. And when he got it, no looking back.
Right.
There was no looking back. So I definitely think this year we should be different in the preseason. Even though you don't want to get guys hurt.
No.
You know, because even when I played, I didn't like preseason.
No.
Right.
But I knew I needed the reps.
Yeah.
You need reps.
I needed the reps because my first time going full speed, I didn't want it to be week 1.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because now I'm chasing a guy in the slot week 1, and it's like, man, he's rolling, and my heart is like, whoa, I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
hamstrings
Yeah.
hurting. Like, no, I want that before that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we should get those guys more reps
Right.
in the preseason.
Which, and Canales had mentioned it, in the league meetings. He was talking about wanting to maybe play them in the preseason, which I agree because you have one less game anyway.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
You got to, bro.
I know everyone's scared about the Kelvin
Yeah,
Benjamin
yeah,
situation. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah, you don't want to get hurt, but at the same time,
You
man,
can get hurt any
you
play.
can get hurt walking around these days.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
For real.
Dead serious.
For real.
Yeah, you can just hurt. You be like, oh man, he twisted his ankle. What?
Towards Achilles. What the
Deshaun
heck?
Jackson. I mean, Deshaun Watson. He slipped in the tub
Yeah.
and he slipped towards Achilles
Tug
again.
Towards Achilles, yeah.
No comment on that.
Oh.
Because who knows what?
Yeah. Oh, the Browns. Y'all just trying to get rid of him.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now
Y'all
it
don't want
makes
to pay this
sense.
money.
Now it
so
makes sense.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Really.
So like, I think we just need them more reps. They need more reps. Let them guys play. Let them loose. If you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
You can't play hurt. You can't try to play not to get hurt.
No.
And you're
That's
gonna
when
be hurt.
you
You're gonna be
get-
hurt by the
That's
end
what
of the season.
I mean.
anyway.
That was the downfall of Cam. They started playing him to not get hurt, and then no matter what, they kept him, and then you keep him in the pocket. I always remember saying, "Stop keeping him in the pocket." What happens when you kept him in the pocket? He gets his shoulder taken out.
He only got hurt
But
when he was in the pocket.
but that's also on Cam too. Don't think it just was them trying to keep him in the pocket.
I saw
Really?
I saw the play deep, and you can break it down
Cam,
for us.
man.
Yeah, you
Cam
can see.
sometimes he wanted to show everybody.
He had
can
somebody
do more.
open.
Yeah.
He wanted to show everybody that
Yeah.
he can do this and that. And Cam let them perform a new surgery on him that nobody had. He was like a guinea pig. I'm $100 million guy. Even though some guys did had it before.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like football players had
No.
it.
Right.
It's no way I'm gonna be a guinea pig guy
$100 million.
and I'm $100 million
Yeah.
guy. I'll sit out like Andrew Luck. Hey, but Cam's so competitive, which I love. That's what I loved about Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He was so competitive that he didn't want to let us down. He's like, man, I'll be back. I'll be back in 3-4 months. We sitting there like, man, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
man? Take your year off.
You want to be Superman?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, I heard conversations, like me being one of the guys, let's shut him down. No, and not let him play this shit.
Yeah.
This and that. I'm playing.
Yeah.
Cam, no, man, y'all ain't shut me down. I'll be fine. He out there. I'm going to do everything I need in my power to get myself ready to play.
Yeah.
I think Cam should have took the year off.
Yeah.
Pull Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks do it all the time.
Yeah.
Get yourself healthy. I think he should have did it.
I mean, that's then he plays in the preseason and he gets in, they injures his leg, and then
That's
he's
true.
never the same.
He never the same.
Never the same.
If y'all looked at it, Cam Newton never been the same.
No.
He never had that no more.
Yeah.
It was more like
Yes.
he forced him to get there. I hurt.
Yeah.
And he should have never did. I think he should have just took the year off.
That's wild. It's always wild to think about, and I think that's why people are so harsh on Bryce. They were expecting, the Panthers fans got so lucky with Cam Newton.
Yes.
The best rookie season outside of maybe Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
that you've seen in a quarterback coming out of college, and so people were thinking Bryce. The next time you have a number 1 overall pick, Bryce is going to come out and go lights out.
Everybody can't be Cam Newton, man.
No.
He's not
Everybody
Bryce
can't be
Young,
6'6",
No.
250 pounds.
No.
With calves this big.
No.
Everybody can't be that.
A
Bryce is
literal
my
monster.
height. And Bryce is not a physical specimen.
No.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's a physical specimen.
Right.
Cam was made in a lab. Look like.
He was.
He looked like a created Madden player.
He
every single
was.
time.
Yeah.
That's just how he looked.
I mean, he looked like, I think they should have made the NFL logo like they have, Jerry West for the NBA. Because like I'm talking, and I'm saying this in the most like heterosexual way possible. The silhouette he has, he made any jersey look good. He made any uniform.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
So
you had
it's
any
like-
jersey swap,
You
That
can't,
drip
you
is-
can't, and then he's gonna have the swag with it,
Right?
You know?
He had the
Even
show-
though
he
I
had
don't, even though I don't agree with how he dressed off the field, but
you didn't like that?
Nah, he did too much. Of
Yeah?
all that. But even he gonna have the swag on the field. He's
Right.
like, like Deion used to say, you play good, they pay good.
Yeah.
You look good, you
play
play
good,
good.
yeah.
So it was something he did for sure. So Cam Newton was the first guy I ever seen have different cleats every single game.
Yep.
He started that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like most guys like me, I couldn't wear new shoes. So I
No.
wore all my the first week of the season, the first 8 weeks of the season, I wore the same cleats.
Yeah.
Because I liked how to feel, how to break them in,
Yeah.
and this and that. I couldn't wear new shoes. When I wore new shoes, they hurt my foot.
Yeah.
They hurt my feet. And like, they hurt so bad. Like, it might be my left foot one time, and the next time it'd be my right foot. So it's like, man, I was like, forget it. I'm just going to keep the same pair.
Yeah,
They're
and
not
he had,
gonna
I mean, he had the
say
first.
hurt.
He had the first like player cleats, his own line, the high top cleats. Those were the thing to wear.
Yeah.
And I remember I was
He
in
made
high
them
school.
cool.
He did.
I have the
Everybody
shoes.
just call them wrestling boots.
Yeah.
literally have the
He-
shoes.
He made them cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, made
he
them
did.
cool. Like, I give him props. Like, yo, he definitely made them
Yeah.
cleats cool because kids started to wear them.
Yep.
Everybody, my son, he was in Little League. He like, Dad, I want them Cam Newtons. what about you want to pair my cleats?
Yeah,
Nike,
you got enough of them.
Yeah, Nike give me a lot of cleats for free.
Under Armour don't.
I only wear from
Yeah, so, but he definitely had that. So it was hard, Carolina to see Bryce come in. We definitely expected him to be like that. But I knew it was going to be growing pains, and I thought they should have waited, to play him. But him being the first pick in the draft, it's like you got to play him.
It's
because if we don't play him, they feel like, what are we going to say?
Yeah. And then CJ's playing.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they like, what we going to say about him?
Yeah.
How much of a sense of that mindset did you get coming back for Tepper's first year? How much of a culture shock was it and a culture change when, you switch owners?
Oh, man, it definitely was different.
Yeah.
It definitely was different. Mr. Richardson, a great owner. Mr. Richardson was a great owner. Probably one of the more personable owners you can be with, and a lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people looking from the outside in, they was like, it's Mr. Richardson. He drive around in his car. Like, he come in the locker room, man, sit right next to him, might sit in your locker.
Really?
And have a full-blown conversation. Man, so how's the kids? How everything going in life, Captain? Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before every game, I'll never forget, he used to come sit in my locker. My locker was by Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly. He used to always sit in my locker, and I'm sitting there like, I get out the bathroom, I'm looking, I'm like, dang, Mr. Richardson. In my locker. So I walk over there, what's up, Mr. Richardson? He was like, what's up, Captain? Well, I got one thing to tell you. Listen, hold those big guys up. Just hold on till Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly come, all right? I don't care what you need to do. Hold on for dear life. Just hold them on for Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly can clean
finish
them
off
up.
the tackle.
Yes, and I was like, yes, sir. I was like, Mr. Richard, I can hit too. He's like, hey, hold them up till Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly clean them up.
That's great.
He used to tell me that before every game. He sat in my locker and told me that.
That's amazing.
So I had like a different relationship.
Yeah.
With him, you know what I'm saying? Because he was one of them. Like I said, a lot of people didn't think that because y'all just see him ride around.
Yeah,
in the, car
the bulldog, the stone
Yeah,
face.
and then, when the camera get on him, he just
yeah.
but
Never look
he's
happy.
in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, how your family doing? Everybody okay?
Wow.
You need to come talk to me. You're fine. All right, man. Take care of your money. Take care of yourself. All right.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Tepper, he was new,
Yeah.
so he didn't know us.
Mm.
Only thing we knew was, man, this hedge fund guy coming in.
Yep.
Pittsburgh. He had a little stake in Pittsburgh, but he's coming in. Do he love ball? Is he gonna care about us?
Yeah.
Like Mr. Richardson did?
Yeah.
So we didn't know. And, he probably had his guard up, because we weren't his guys.
Yeah.
Cam Newton wasn't his quarterback. Captain Munnerlyn definitely wasn't his corner. So he don't know us.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, he had his guard up. He probably was holding his money like, no, I'm not paying these guys this.
Yeah.
No, make him take a pay cut.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So he didn't know. But the thing I see from Tepper now, the same thing I seen from Mr. Richardson. And a lot of people don't know that. Like, when we come back around, Tepper sit there have a full-blown conversation with you.
So there's been a change.
It's definitely been a complete change.
Really?
Yes. That's why at the beginning, like if you go look at some of my podcast stuff and we talk about, Tepper this now, I had to stand up for him. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's not what y'all think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's just not out here just all right. He's really listening now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would ask you what you think about this guy. He might call Steve Smith, and I know this for a fact. He might call Steve Smith and like, hey Smitty, what you think about this receiver? You think we should take him?
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've seen their interactions beforehand. When he first got there.
Yeah. Wow.
I did not. Wow.
Yeah.
So that lets any of the fans know what Tepper thinks about Tet at pick number 8 from Arizona. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it is. And I like I said, he get a lot of people talking crazy and stuff because they see all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But I really think he took the back seat. He gave him the keys to Dan and Coach Canales, and he's just like, listen, y'all let me know what I need to do.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
Y'all let me know what I do.
That was a big question.
And like even with him throwing a drink, on the fan that time, everybody, this and that. That fan was cheering on somebody off our team getting hurt.
Yep.
He stood up for his guys, but the media don't say that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
Even though you can't do that, Tep knows you can't do that.
That wasn't right.
You
At
can't
the
do
same
it.
time,
But he was like, "Yo, hey, that's my guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay this $200,000. I wouldn't have,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
He's a billionaire.
Because then it makes you think, okay, you know, when he then pulls the hat off of the guy over at Dilworth Grill, then he's doing the same thing. But no, it's just a light mannered joke, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. The first the press conference for Bryce Young, his introductory press conference, I was filming. I was sitting there. And I was filming the podium, or whatever, the lectern, whatever it's supposed to be called, because it's not a podium, it's a lectern, and I got that a couple times. But I was filming it, and Tepper comes and Fitterer come in through the back door of the conference room, or the practice, the meeting room. And so they come in through that back door, and I'm like down a little bit. And so I'm filming, and I see them come in, so I turn to film him walking, and then immediately Bryce comes up, so I turn to go film Bryce. And I guess I had filmed on Tepper too long. So Tepper comes, I was like about maybe the 4 rows from the back, and I'm filming. And my phone gets taken out of my hand, clear out of my hand. And I go, what the heck just happened? I look back. Tepper's got this big old smirk on his face, and he winks at me. He's got my phone in his hand, and then he gives it right back to me, and then he just sits down. I'm like, but he didn't flip the camera around, so all you just see is someone taking it. I'm like, I have no proof that this happened, other than it did. And I was just like, he's kind of got a little bit of a sense of humor.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
definitely got one.
So like when he took the guy's
listen.
hat, I'm like, it's the exact same thing.
Wow.
Tepper, listen. He got a great sense of humor. He played a lot of games. He talked shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
You're good.
No, I'm being for real. Like, he sit there and talk the shit with us, like, for real. Like, like, he does that with us. Like, when we come around now, oh, man, he'll tell me all the time. He's like, he make jokes about Thomas Davis, me. He's like, he talk. That's what he do. And we sit there like, man, you crazy, but that's what he do.
Yeah.
Like, don't think he's just, he's uptight, this and that. No. And I don't like sometimes because the media just kind of put him as
persona,
like,
man, and then you see a video go viral.
because they don't know. They don't get the inside. They don't get the inside tell.
No.
So man, but nah, he's definitely. I didn't seen a change for sure. He definitely have turned the leaf. Yeah. And I think that's what the organization needed.
Oh yeah.
Needed to see like, all right, to trust some guys.
Yeah.
Because the people he trusted, they failed him. You gotta think about it. Everybody think even though he do makes a lot of decisions over there because he's the owner. Yeah. He run the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had people in place to make those decisions, and they failed him.
Right.
And with him being the owner, you're gonna take all that.
He tried both ways.
Yes.
Yeah, he tried to get
So-
old coaches to come in. He tried to
That's
get
what I'm
new
saying. So
guys
it failed
to come
him.
in. And just
Only thing I had a problem with was letting Steve Wilkes go. I
Yes.
felt like he should have gave Steve a chance.
100%.
That's the only problem I had.
I don't think I see a Panthers fan that doesn't have that
That's
same
the
opinion.
only problem I
I
had.
can
Like I
post
said,
that
I feel like Dan and Kanaz's gonna do a great job and all that, but that's the only thing.
He had those boys 2 steps from the playoffs. You were a Mike Evans touchdown away.
And you know who he went in the game with, cornerback wise? My point exactly. They had signed Josh Norman.
Re-signed him for a week.
Yep.
They
Just
had
to see if we can get him going.
they had Dante because JC. No, yeah, they had Dante. JC Horn was hurt. He couldn't play.
yeah.
You had.
I want to say Dante was hurt too that game.
He was. He absolutely was.
He was.
You had
He
like
was playing with 4 and 5 corners.
he was.
He wasn't playing with his 2 and 3.
No,
his rotation.
And it was
Yes.
it was Mike Evans that you had to go up against. You were going to lose that
fair.
battle
He was
every time.
one game away from making the playoffs, bro.
Coming in that way through the season. And that's so going now forward because we talk about the defense especially. Put out the worst in history as far as points scored. I know that's got to sting from your perspective.
Being a defensive guy hurt.
Yeah.
What's
'Cause
the
I know what we put in around here
What's
to
the
make
sol-
a great defense.
Right.
what's the solution going this year?
First of all, we got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
We had a lot of guys hurt.
Yep.
And with me knowing that we had a lot of guys hurt, I know we gave up a lot of points, but I'm like, hey, what if DB was there?
What if Shaq was there?
What if Shaq was there?
Those Shaq was there, especially DB.
Yeah, you know, what if some of these guys? We was at linebacker. We played with some linebackers I've never heard of.
I mean, Trevin Wallace, the rookie, was injured halfway through. You had Josie Jewell was back and forth. You know, you had half of the
They're
roster.
serviceable guys. They're good guys.
And
but
I said this
at the same time,
before. It's like we playing with guys that we thought would be special teams guys. Now you asking those guys to step up
Right.
to play on defense. It's not gonna go well.
A bunch
You don't
of-
build.
a bunch
You
of
don't.
snaps,
Yeah,
too,
you don't
yeah.
build your team off that. When they go in there, listen. I had a chance to see how this NFL stuff worked when I did the Bill Walsh coaching adversity thing with the Buffalo Bills. So I had a chance to see how it really works.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in a room, the meeting rooms and stuff, and I'm like, oh, so that's how they doing it. And I had to raise my hand a couple times and say, hey, Coach McDermott, y'all used to talk about me like this?
Yeah. Right.
So, you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see how it works. So I see how they build teams. Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah, we can keep him for special teams. Let's see how it go in training camp.
Yeah.
He'll be a hell of a special teams for us. Yeah. Some guys that we had on the Panthers, they was going to be special teams
I
guys.
think Josie was
Guaranteed special team guys. They wouldn't expect to plug those guys in to play linebacker.
No.
Damani Richardson's not supposed to be starting that many games at that
That's
position.
what I'm saying. So it's like,
I think Damani's shorter than you are.
and that's what, that's why they was like, everybody was against her keeping the defensive coordinator. I'm like, yo, he didn't have none.
He didn't have anybody. Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. He didn't have none. Let's see when he get his dogs back this year, and they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Let's see what's happening.
So you still thinking draft like they did with Matt Rule's first year, all defensive
Oh
players?
no, we ain't doing that though.
You didn't like that as a
You didn't
defensive
like that
guy?
idea? Come on, man. It worked well.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
You got to mix and match.
Yeah.
you got to mix and match.
I agree.
I'm a guy that's the best player available.
Yeah.
Best player available. Try to build with free agency and get the best player available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's at 8, you've got Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, Jalen Walker still available.
Tyler Warren.
Best guy available.
Yeah.
You think that's a fit your team?
Yeah.
I'm always a BPA guy as well.
Yeah.
I've always said
Man,
that.
get
yeah.
the best guy.
Yeah.
If Travis Hunter fall, get him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 shot. It's going to work anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
See-
that's how first rounders work.
And now for the overall draft, though, still just best.
I'm getting the best guy.
Yeah.
I'm getting the best guy. And then, sometimes you get it on late rounds. You might find a guy like me.
Yep.
So,
Dog.
yeah.
Even
so,
UDFA, Jalen Coker, after the draft's done.
Yeah.
Or this new tight end turn college basketball player turned tight end the Panthers just signed 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you never know. But I'm best player available
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Now, I'm a little biased. I'm Gamecock myself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, draft every Gamecock defensive player that they got on the board. Give me I want TJ Sanders. I want Manawari. I want Tonka Hemingway. Give me every single one. I'll take them all because that was the best defense, I think. And that's saying something. That's one of the best defensive squads I think the Gamecocks have ever put out.
What?
From a talent perspective, I think.
Okay, now.
I think so.
All right.
Maybe not
Oh,
results.
oh,
Maybe not
oh,
results.
Bold take.
We have some teams down there. now.
You did. I mean,
But now,
look,
the talent-wise, you can't match those guys talent-wise. You look at that defense, man, on paper. Like, if you look at it on paper, by far.
Kyle Kennard was ridiculous.
By far.
I mean,
By far, these guys, man, they're different. They bigger, they faster, they stronger. NIL money treating them really good.
Yeah, I bet.
So it's a little different.
and I gotta think the Panthers go after one of them. What's the connect? Is it just because South Carolina's that close? But you got
No, I think what it is, I think what it is just, it is close, and you'll be a household name, but at the same time, they see more of us.
yeah,
Us being right there. They
Yeah,
see more of
that's
us.
true.
They see more of South Carolina.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
see more, even though they got that school up there, Clemson, and all that,
Right.
but they see more of us.
yeah,
They see more of the North Carolina guys.
Yeah.
The Wake Forest guys. So
Yeah.
they scouts. They scout in the area.
Yeah.
So they see more. They might go to 6 South Carolina games.
yeah. But then even free agent signings. I mean, you have Javian Clowney on the
That's what
team.
I'm saying.
You got DJ Wanham. They just brought Rico Dowdle in too.
And the thing is too, if I was an owner, I would do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because how many South Carolina fans we got in the state of Charlotte? I mean, in the
bunch.
city of Charlotte.
A lot.
A bunch.
A lot.
Marketing, smart,
Yep.
sell tickets.
Yeah.
Somebody want to go see Clowney.
Yeah.
Rock Hill right down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody just want to come see Captain Munnerlyn.
Yeah.
Columbia right down the road.
Right down the road.
J.C. Horn, he's there at 8.
Yeah.
Best player available, corner. I'm drafting.
I was shocked.
What look, oh man, all these kids now, I'm J.C. Horn, this and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They want to see those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, marketing wise, it's smart.
Yeah.
It's smart to get those guys.
Yeah. It's like
Tell them know what you're doing. They know what they're doing.
In, you know?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Leggett, J.C.
Yeah.
Horn, like you've got an insane amount of
They-
Gamecocks on
they
this
love
roster
them
right now.
Mullins.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They
They
not make
got-
their money back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So your thoughts on the 2 starting cornerbacks right now, and J.C. and Mike Jack?
I'm a big fan of JC, of course. Mike Jack, I've never been like a big fan of.
Really?
Yeah, I've been saying it for a while.
Really?
On
You don't think he did
even on
enough in
my
the latter part of the season there?
Even on my podcast.
Yeah.
I judge a corner. I'm tough on corners because they're
Of course.
me, and they're big corners too. These
They're
are 2
huge.
huge corners.
They're big, yeah.
And with Mike Jack, to me, he just played with bad eyes. Like, I had Coach Wilkes. Like I said, I had Steve Wilkes. I don't know if Mike Jack would make it with Wilkes.
Really?
Because every time he breaks, now y'all gonna see it. Every time he breaks on the ball,
Yeah, I can
Shatter my glass ceiling here. And I'm gonna go.
every time he breaks on the ball and quarterbacks is trying to throw the receiver the ball, Mike Jack look back at the quarterback. And he be a step. He might make the play because his size.
Does his
Yeah.
length really
Yes,
make up
but
for it? Yeah.
sometimes he might be a step slower because he looking back. You can't guard a guy like that.
Yeah.
They trying to throw it to him, not you.
Yeah.
Now, when you in phase, if I'm on your hip, maybe I peek and make a play. And that's why I got a problem with Mike Jack.
Interesting.
I always look at his game and I be like, why is he looking back at that quarterback?
Yeah.
When man-to-man coverage, look at your guy.
Yeah.
You're not going
Interesting.
to the airport and putting your luggage right here and just walking off. That's your luggage.
You need
So guess what you're doing?
Yeah, yeah.
You're looking. I'm looking at my luggage. I got to follow my luggage. I'm not, all right, I'm going to leave my luggage right here. Let me go down here to Chick-fil-A to give me something to eat.
It'll be all right.
No, I'm not doing that. You got to keep your eyes on your luggage.
Yeah.
And Mike Jack don't keep his eyes on his luggage.
Yeah.
Hopefully he pick it around this year. I hope he see this because
Yeah.
I want to tell him when I see him. I'm like, yo, I got one problem. Keep your eye on your
Yeah.
I think he did it in the Giants
if you
game,
look
honestly.
if you
Yeah.
look at the Denver, I went to the Denver game out there. I went out there with the Panthers. They
Yeah.
came out there with a Make-A-Wish kid, and that game made me so mad at Mike Jack because every time in the corner of the end zone, this and that, he was, they not throwing to you, and then all of a sudden when you do this, boom, touchdown.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, get rid of him. You know, I'm a fan now. And
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
a lot of people probably said that about me.
Yeah.
Get rid of him. you know what I'm saying? I'm
you
a
know what it
fan
feels
now.
like.
Yeah. I know what it feels like being a fan now.
Yeah.
So that's why I always tell people, I was like, man, I'm really a fan now.
Yeah, you are,
So
yeah.
I'm analyzing the game, and I'm mad just like everybody
Yeah.
else. I know a lot of people mad at Captain Munnerlyn out there. Gave up
Yeah.
some plays, but that's how I am now.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. But size-wise, we got
Yeah.
two biggest corners in the league.
They're ridiculous.
But I just think Mike just got to work. It's a come, and he's an Alabama guy. You know, I'm from Alabama,
Yeah.
so he'll come. And like I said, if I ever had that conversation with him, I just give him some tips like, listen,
Yeah.
I know I'm an old school cat, you know, but
I know what I'm talking about.
yes,
Yeah.
keep your eyes on your luggage, bro. Like sometimes you
That's
get
great.
bad eyes. He got bad eyes at times, but
Interesting.
he's still a big corner. He
Yeah.
can play. That's the only thing I got with him.
Interesting.
But JC, I just like JC to stay healthy. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Every time I be
That's all
like,
they're
just
gonna
please
ask
stay
for.
Yeah.
healthy.
Just
Because he really can play.
I mean, you see it. We saw it this year, you know, and he should have been outright Pro Bowl regardless.
Yeah.
And the fact, I mean, who was outright Pro Bowl?
Yeah, he's
regardless?
outright Pro Bowl.
The year before was the sub in.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and it's also like, that's where we get as South Carolina people on Twitter, especially, they hate us. They hate Gamecocks on Twitter for the Panthers because it's every time it's, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. You know, here it is, especially with Leggett. It's been brutal.
And I've been tough on him.
I mean,
I got like a big brother relationship
say,
with
you
him
probably
that
do, yeah.
I don't even know him like that.
Yeah.
But I have a big brother relationship. I feel like I can talk about him like that because he went to my school.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I done seen you play ball. I done seen you really legitimately go out there
Yeah.
and have some games. And I'm like, oh yeah.
yeah.
Now when you get here, it's like, man, this not the same guy.
But see, the problem is I feel like Dowell Loggins had a huge impact on him because up until senior year, he wasn't really doing nothing those first few years because nobody even knew about him.
That's true.
You know, his prominence was those deep balls from Spencer Rattler, but then we never gave him those opportunities here in Carolina. Canales really, okay. After the hand injury, maybe, but before the hand injury, you look at because I mean he didn't have to.
You want me to name a couple of games?
I know the games, but were they before or after he got his hand messed up?
You a pro. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I pay you to catch the ball.
I give you that one. I'll give you
I
that.
can't tell you. Oh man,
got
I know a couple. I know a couple games. I had a hamstring injury. I just ain't say nothing. I gave up some passes,
Yeah.
but I ain't come out and say, man, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to hear that. Don't play.
And to his credit, he did say it wasn't about my hand. I should have made that catch. Like he said that multiple times.
Well, make the catch.
Make the dang catch, yeah.
Like when I saw him get that pick on the Saints game when they ripped it out of his hands, I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah, that reminded me of Kelvin Benjamin when that happened. to
It,
him.
it was
Yeah,
brutal. It was brutal.
I'm hard on him.
Yeah.
As you
And
should
I know
be.
he's seen some of my posts because
Yeah.
he followed on my podcast.
Yeah.
He come in at one time.
Yeah.
And I'm hard on him. I'm really hard on him. But it's no love lost. Like,
No.
I'm gonna love you like a little brother that I don't even know you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give you that credit. I'm gonna criticize you because I know the potential you got.
Yeah,
I
that's
seen
the whole
you play.
thing.
Right.
And you went to my college.
Yeah.
I
So
wouldn't
you got to
say
put
if I
on.
didn't mean
Yes.
it, yeah.
You got to put on.
So I'm gonna be like that.
Yeah.
Some of the other guys, blah, this and that. But I'm gonna be that because
Yeah.
I know what you can do.
Yeah.
And he know what he can do.
He does.
He didn't have did he like a first round pick to you?
No. But to be honest, I mean, the fact that they
You all Gamecock all day. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I didn't
You gonna make all these excuses for
no,
me.
I didn't expect them to. I didn't expect them to draft J.C. Horn.
No.
I was shocked.
I'm from Columbia, and I thought the same.
With that year, not because of who all was on the board after.
I thought they would have got Pat Surtain.
Well, because I was like, cornerback wasn't even my first. I've always begged the Panthers to draft a cornerback, cornerback and lineman. If you listen to this podcast every year, because we never prioritize them the way that we should. I mean, look at the Super Bowl year 2015. The average age of the guys we had in that defensive back group.
Yeah.
You had freaking Charles Tillman.
That was old.
You had Roman Harper. You had Cortland Finnegan.
I got him off the couch.
They were all, and those started in the Super Bowl.
And guess what? They tried to come trade for me that year.
I know they did. I remember that.
Yep.
I absolutely remember that.
And when they went to the Super Bowl, I said, like,
I was about to ask you because I mean, you look at that.
Everything, yeah.
You look at. I mean, Kurt Coleman was your youngest guy.
yeah. And Wilkes told me about that. He was like, man, he said, man, we try to trade for you.
Yeah.
I said, like, for real? He's like, yeah. He's like, the Vikings shot us down. I'm saying, like, why they shot us down? They ain't give me no contract extension.
Don't tell me that. Yeah.
Shoot.
But all that to say, like, same thing with and the same thing with Xavier Leggett. I was sitting in Bank of America Stadium, knowing we didn't have a first round pick, and I was like, all right, well, I can chill. I got my little story written. I know what we're due, and I'm driving home. It's like 11:45 because my day's done, and I get to sit on my couch and. PR, hey, we got a Zoom call set up with Xavier Leggett. We just drafted. I said, what do you mean we just drafted?
Yeah.
And so that was my thing, is that he was not supposed to be the guy off the rip, in my opinion.
When I seen it, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why we moved up a spot?
We moved up a spot. We were
Buffalo.
33. It made sense because then
Buffalo.
you get that extra
Yeah.
the year of the rookie
Yeah,
contract,
and,
right?
And Buffalo drafted Coleman.
Keon Coleman, which
John Coleman.
and people are like, we should have gotten him. I'm like, okay, but what all really was Keon Coleman doing?
I was up in Buffalo with him.
Like, and then like, we should have gotten Xavier Worthy. What was Xavier Worthy doing?
Yeah.
Like, so the receivers this year, I was like a little.
But Keon gonna be all right though.
They're gonna. I think all three
He
of
picked
them.
up late. Yeah,
I think all three of them are gonna have their time in the sun. They're not gonna be no Brian Thomas like they were coming out of this year, but that's a whole different beast in my opinion. So it's interesting. But on that question though, you missed. I think you missed him every single area. In Buffalo, in Carolina both times. What has been your evaluation of Dan Morgan and the moves he's made? Because, like, for me, you had the top sack, leader throughout the season, Iku Leota. He was balling out. Kick him to the curb. Troy Hill was your most standard cornerback, and he had been locking down that nickel position. Cut him out halfway through.
Yep.
He's definitely been headstrong with his moves, but there's been some head scratchers.
Yeah, Dan. I feel like Dan know what he's doing. He
Yeah.
played the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played the game. He played at a very high level, a very high level. And when I went to Buffalo, Dan actually still was up there.
Was he okay? I wasn't
he
sure.
was, yeah.
I wasn't.
When I came in, he talked to me like, Dan is a guy, bro. Like, Dan still talk to me. He'll text me to this day. When I got the job at Chambers, Dan texts me.
Did he really?
Really.
I'm like, yo, Dan just text me. Congratulations, man. I'm proud of you. Go make us happy. He's like, listen, anything you need from me, just let me know. I'm sitting there like, appreciate it, Dan.
I'll take it.
This,
It's a great guy.
I'm like, you ain't watching no film right now? I'm saying like, but
Yeah,
that,
I
that
need you at the work.
yeah,
Yeah.
that touched me like, damn,
Yeah,
Dan just texted me, bro. And I think Dan know what he's doing. He's getting these guys, he getting his pieces, and he getting his guys he wants.
His dogs.
Yes,
Yeah.
together.
No,
So I'm not questioning nothing Dan doing right now. I like the direction he's going.
They said in Buffalo, he's not afraid.
No, he
Yeah,
ain't.
that's literally a
Like,
quote.
but then the
Yeah.
thing, it's kind of different, being a guy who's played the game at a very high level, who been under some great guys already, being GM, being assistant GM under some great guys. So when you get your opportunity, the sky's the limit.
Right.
And I think that's what he's doing. He going and doing it his way. Because
Right.
he learned from under some other guys. You got to do it your way.
Yeah.
If you listen to these fans, if you listen to me, if you listen to some of these-
yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it would kind of screw you up. So
Yeah.
I think Dan's doing it his way, and I think he's gonna be okay, man. He's gonna be okay. I think he's gonna get us back to the top.
Yeah.
I was really, it's interesting, like you said, it's one thing if we had just gotten any former NFL player to be the GM, but when you have the former Pro Bowl linebacker for that franchise to come and go, there's a whole different,
shift.
there's a whole different sliding
Right,
rule
right.
that you have to judge him on.
Linebacker, yeah, pre-Luke Kuechly. Like, he has that dog in him, like, so he wants dogs.
Yeah.
He wants to make a pound.
And then it's like, though, are we giving you this position because you had this history with the team, or have you done the work you needed to? It's like not almost like a nepotism question, but
Yeah.
there's a different way you look at it. But that was my biggest thing about why I trusted his pick with Dave Canales, because you would have thought a guy like Dan Morgan, for the coaches he's played for the people he's played with,
Yeah.
you would have thought a Mike Vrabel sign.
Yeah.
That would have been like
hardcore.
easy,
Yeah.
right?
Hardcore
That would
guy.
have been the exact pick he made.
He
So
got
when
here, you played on the Fox.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like he's played under everybody, and he's worked with
Yeah.
all these defensive, even in Buffalo, and he's working with these insane coordinators and these insane players. So I'm like, all right, he's definitely going to hire him. So you must really, really, really trust Dave Canales and really think he's that guy to make that move, especially when it's a guy that you were sharing, office space. They were office neighbors in Seattle for that long of time and best friends, basically. That's where I'm like, all right, this combination can either only go so well or it can go, the opposite direction. But
But still.
I think the way that he's gone about it, like I said, this over the hump. Can you see it? Like you said, we've talked about this. You've seen these teams go over the hump. Do you see? Are there certain signs that you see? Like, all right, this is like you said, how they finish.
Yeah,
that was a big sign.
The finish was the big sign for me,
Yeah.
and just the direction of the team.
Yeah.
The signing of some of the guys they signed in free agency.
Yeah,
How Dan stacked up on defense a little bit in free agency, and he kept our core together. He didn't make no big splash moves when it came to, going to overpay somebody.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted them to get DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
I was a guy like, get DK, we need a big time receiver, but
Big time.
they didn't blow up. That's why they paid Dan them the big bucks.
yeah,
And just how they running the team now.
yeah,
Even off the field.
Yeah.
How, they treating former players. Like, we go over there now, like,
That's
they
Yeah.
come on.
That's
Yeah.
refreshing to hear.
Yeah, let's go. Y'all want to come to practice? Come to practice, man. We love to have you here. Like I said, Dan texted me, man, when I
Yeah.
got the job at Chambers.
yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, yo.
But to that point, you mentioned it, about Tepper even being the way he was at the beginning. There was it was very noticeable that the veterans, the legends, were absent from
But
everything.
you know
was
what?
that
It wasn't a Tepper thing.
Interesting.
It's Matt Rule.
I wasn't gonna ask you to say the name, but yeah, that's what.
I didn't want to. Yeah.
No, I said, I just went to a couple practices, and Matt Rule looking back like, who's the hell is this?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, Captain Munnerlyn, this and that, this and that. He's like basically, why is he here?
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, when I see him look at me a couple times, like, yo, bro, I ain't got to be here.
Yeah,
I can go home.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So I get in my car, I go home.
I go home.
Like, I don't have to be, I'm just coming to see practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a football guy.
Yeah.
and
I
that
love ball.
and that sends a huge message to the current players.
So that's why you see guys like Luke Kuechly was coming around. Guess what? All of a sudden, you stop seeing them.
Now that was
Thomas
hard
Davis
right
was
there.
coming around. All of a sudden, you stop seeing them.
Yep.
Steve Smith, stop seeing them.
Yeah.
Me,
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg,
Yeah.
you just stop seeing us coming around because we felt like we weren't wanted. Matt Rule made you feel like you weren't wanted.
Yeah.
Like for real. So now when everybody else started coming, you get the even like Coach Wright, when Frank came around, it was like he wanted us there.
It was night and day.
Yeah.
I remember
He
that
was
first
sitting there like-
practice.
yeah, he was like, "Yo, what? Come on,
Yeah,
y'all hungry?
Yeah.
Go up there and eat. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come, like I want y'all here.
Yeah.
We want our veterans here.
Right.
Like
Whitney.
even with some of the hires they did in the organization, like the player personnel guys, the legend guys, and stuff like that. They like, come on.
Yeah.
Hey Cap, man, I got this signing for you, man. These guys, they Gamecock fans. They want you to come to this bar
Yeah.
and do a signing for an hour.
Yep.
I was like, all right, cool. We
Yeah.
paying you to do this, and that.
why
Cool.
not? Yeah,
Never got that with Matt Rule.
Really.
No.
I'm not surprised.
Legend weekend.
Yeah.
We didn't. I don't even know if we had a legend weekend. I wasn't trying to come.
No.
Because he didn't. He made us feel like we weren't wanted.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like a brand new team.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So then to that effect, you talked about it, and he had mentioned, and I was looking around the stadium trying to find anything, and I'm like, even the current Panthers locker room, they've got like pictures of players, and there's one absent. That relationship, if you want to talk about it.
I think with that is, I know everybody's like, oh, Cam ain't retired. He came out. I ain't been playing football for a while, which he haven't. I think that relationship is just need to be gelled back together.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a lot of stuff people can say about it.
yeah,
Do Cam do some stuff that I don't agree with? A whole lot.
yeah,
How he go by it. Like, bro, you could do it better than how you doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
everybody knew who the best quarterback in his organization was.
Yeah. We didn't have to say it.
They might have Jake DeLone picture right there,
yeah, but
everybody knew Cam Newton.
yeah,
Like, you was him.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and I think, some even with some of the people in the organization saying like, oh, he haven't officially retired and all that. Man, he's never gonna play.
No, he's not. He's done.
We know that.
He's
yeah,
done.
he said he's not going to retire,
Yeah.
then he said the exact same thing.
Yeah, so he's never gonna play another down.
Yeah, he said never
Yeah.
going to play
So,
another down.
like, let's just be honest.
Yeah,
Everybody know that.
They
But-
did with Steve Smith. They were able to get that.
Yeah, but they got to do it. And so it's like, with that, I think this year is going to be their 10th year anniversary.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
Oof.
It's going to
Did you just
happen.
say 10 years? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's painful to hear.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I truly believe it's going to happen. I think that's when everything gets squashed and all that.
'Cause he was
And they're going to rotate the pitchers. Like, Cam, you think they just going to keep you there the whole time? No.
Yeah.
You know, they still got your pictures up for All-Pro, Pro
Yeah.
Bowl,
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah.
And if you walk around the stadium, your pictures are everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, everybody know that, but I think they really going to rotate those pitchers. Jake ain't going to be there the whole entire
No.
time.
No.
They going to go with Cam Newton. Then
Yeah.
Cam Newton, they going to take you down, too.
Yeah.
Put up
The
Bryce
next
Young.
person going to be Bryce.
Right.
Hopefully.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just not just you. So Cam's just, a little self-centered. That's him.
It is. No, it is. So before we get you out of here, your season prediction for this year. What do you think the ceiling is?
Oh, I think we win the division.
Yeah.
I've been saying that since how we ended the year. Everybody like, I was like, we win the division. I definitely think we win the division.
I can see that.
I can see. I'm
Yeah.
definitely thinking because if you look at the moves that everybody really made,
Yeah.
ain't nobody really did nothing.
They really didn't either. No, they didn't do a dang thing. Yeah.
No, we gonna get better.
Everything's going to slide. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we play better.
Baker
throughout the
Mayfield
year.
will be back
Yeah.
to Baker Mayfield.
He'll have that 3-game slid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, them, they don't know who their quarterback is, and if they gonna go with the backup quarterback, if you go with Penix, let's see if he can really do it for a whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But play against the defense.
Then you got what? New Orleans?
Yeah.
Okay.
What they done?
Yeah.
Gotten worse.
Yeah, they went
Yeah.
talking all that crap about us when we
Yep.
beat them.
Yeah.
Now y'all about to be the worst team in the
In
division.
the division. Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
What
I
do
got
you?
us win the division.
Honestly, I can see the same thing.
Yeah.
I really can. Yeah, just winning the division. You think about it more and more. You're like, maybe wild card spot, but I mean, you just keep thinking. You're like, yeah, Saints didn't really do
didn't do
anything.
nothing.
The Bucks. They're gonna be the Bucks at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
midway through the season.
And
As long
Baker
as-
Mayfield gonna definitely give you a couple.
and the big thing is to start off hot though.
We can't start slow.
We can't go 1-3 in the first 4 games.
No, you can't.
You can't.
And that's gonna start with playing these guys in the preseason.
Yep, you have to.
Got to.
Absolutely. Well, so lastly, also then just talk a little bit about. You're not going to be able to be as super focused on the Panthers
I
this
know,
year and
I
this
know.
fall. Just talk a little bit about how excited you are for your first season.
Oh man, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I've been over there every day. The guys are buying in, and getting this opportunity, like been given this opportunity to really, show everybody what I've been doing. Got guys on my coaching staff that I believe in, that I trust, and like I said,
And former
man,
Panthers too.
Yeah, and
So
former
say, yeah,
Panthers.
that
And it's
helps
just
a
giving the guys, man, like these kids hope. Giving them hope. And like I said, like I can say something crazy to the guys, and it's just like, and they gonna believe it, and they gonna buy in. I got that Steve Wilkes in me. I told you,
Right.
Like I've been stealing his stuff, so it's like they gonna run through a wall for me,
Right.
and they know because Coach care.
Right.
Coach love me, and once you show these kids that you really care, they gonna do whatever. And that's what I like about it, man. Like they was missing that. They were missing that. Oh man, hey man, how was your day?
Right.
Hey, did you eat today?
That matters.
Man, I got some snacks in my office. Man,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
What? Pick up that grade.
Yeah.
Like, man, come on, man, you better than that.
Yeah.
They're like, dang, coach really care. Man, come on, man, you know you better than that. Pull your pants up. Like, stop.
Because you were on the opposite side when you were in high school. You didn't
Yes.
think you were going to
Yeah.
make it anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I'm saying that to those, man, pull your pants up. Man,
Yeah.
stop. They was like, man, coach really see something in me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's gonna get us over the hump. Even
Right.
though I'm in a tough division. I tell y'all guys, it's gonna be tough. But at the same time, I'm built for it.
Let's say you're a tough
And I know
guy.
the players are built for it. We want to get Chambers back to where they used to be. And that's why they hired me, and that's why I brought in this coaching staff that I got. And that's why I'm doing what we're doing now. Like I said, man, I'm probably, and I told the guys even today, I said, I know y'all tired of hearing me fuss about this. If I tell you be here at 2:30, be here at 2:30. 2:31, you know what? We all going to this hill. Let's run.
Yeah.
So, and they like, man, coach, like, I'm trying to prepare y'all for college.
Right.
A lot of y'all, who all want to go to the NFL? All those guys did this. I said, well, I'm here to tell you, everybody's not going to make it.
Right.
Who all want to go to college? Everybody raise their hand. Well, I'm here to tell you, everybody's not going to make it because it's real out there. If they tell me in college to be there at 5 a.m.,
Yeah.
I better be there at 4:45.
4:45. Yep.
I remember being in Columbia. We had those trains that's come by.
Don't get me
Oh.
started on the trains.
Yeah.
Made me late to class.
And I did some dangerous stuff one day because I was sitting there late.
I know exactly. Yep.
Where the bubble was that
Yep.
we used to practice at. You
Yeah.
know, they got this new stuff, but what we used to practice at, the train was coming by. It was 4:49. I had to be there at 5, and the train caught me. I parked that car at that corner store, and I said, man, 1, 2. I said, I got to make
right
it.
through.
I got to jump through it. I was like, no, they're not finna do that. I jumped right through it to make it.
Yeah.
And I told the guys the story. I was like, listen, that's how determined I was. I was like, that was dangerous. I could have died.
Not as dangerous as being late for Spurrier practice, though.
Yes, I didn't want to take the punishment and telling my teammates, man, forget y'all. I ain't got to come today.
Yeah.
I said I had that much respect for my teammates
You hold everybody
and my
accountable.
coaches. So that's how much I hold those guys accountable now. And that's why I tell them, like, listen, all you guys with these tardies and stuff, and I think that's what it is with those guys. They buying in, and we're going to shock some people. We definitely going to shock some people.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Not at all.
When's the next episode of No Cap coming out?
It's coming out on Thursday. I'm about to actually probably go film it in a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, then this will be coming out a little bit after that as well. So make sure to subscribe to both Panther Nation Network and No Cap with Cap. And of course, Cap, thank you so much for coming and talking
Man,
to
thanks
us.
for having me. We got to do this again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
When I get a couple, W's under my belt, I'll come back.
Right? Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Nah, man.
All right. Well, that's all we got for y'all. Until next time, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.